Level 1. Sessile. Movement isn't really necessary to survive. Ask any plant, fungi, or barnacle and you'll see sessility can work perfectly fine. Despite being cool enough to be the topic of this video, moving at high speeds requires a ton of energy. So if you can acquire food and reproduce while sitting in one spot, it's usually the most optimal thing to do. Of course, no organism is ever truly still. Even at level 1, there are loads of cellular processes going on, and growth is a type of movement, just a very, very slow one. The fastest growing plant in the world is bamboo, capable of growing 91 centimeters in a single day. That's extremely quick for a grass, but of course a human could make that distance in 1 or 2 steps, and humans are not even close to some of the fastest organisms we will cover today. So let's hurry our way up the speed ladder of life, moving on to level 2, creepers. Locomotion is now on the table. With the ability to move your entire being, you can relocate to get away from a dangerous environment or to seek food. But at level 2, you're basically going to be doing this as slowly as possible. Slime molds release pseudopods, these temporary finger-like things that spread out at 0.005 kilometers an hour in search for food. Then they drag themselves towards that food at 0.000005 kilometers an hour. I'm gonna put the freedom units on screen, though hopefully you don't need that to realize that this is extremely slow. But you don't need speed or even a brain to be clever. If you place a slime mold in a maze and food at the exit, the resulting pseudopod will always form the shortest path to the exit, concentrating their growth towards the food with perfect mathematical efficiency. Famously, a study placed oatmeal over a map of Japan, representing the major urban centers. Then, by letting a slime mold grow on it, found that the resulting slime network matched up almost exactly to the real Tokyo rail lines, which were carefully optimized by Japanese experts. In level 2, I'll also include some slowpokes like earthworms and snails that have muscular activity, but only enough to inch around very slowly. The dwarf seahorse is the slowest swimming fish, moving at 0.0015 kilometers an hour, slower than most snails. There are also echinoderms like starfish and sea urchins, which can use hydraulic pressures in their little tube feet to slowly walk across the ocean floor, though some of them can actually kind of run, weirdly enough. For the most part, level 2s tend to only move when necessary, but that changes at level 3, marchers. Okay, so now we have some muscle activity and usually a few limbs, maybe 4, 6, or hundreds for any of my millipedes watching this. Level 3s can consistently walk or climb and keep it up enough to cover long distances. But there's still things that we would perceive as slow moving, like tortoises, which move at 0.48 kilometers an hour, but can sprint at up to 1 kilometer an hour. It's basically all the movement you could ever need for going about your day, but if anything's ever chasing you, it won't be enough to get away. So level 3s tend to invest mostly in other defenses, like a hard shell or camouflage, because this level of movement still requires constant fuel. Sloths combat this with a slower metabolism. They can only climb at 0.8 kilometers an hour, but as a trade-off, they don't need to eat nearly as much as other mammals their size. Actually, most slow animals have a slow metabolism for energy conservation. That's why they're slow. The slowest primate, the slow loris, paces itself at 1.8 kilometers an hour to sneak up on prey and are able to strike more quickly. They produce venom from their armpits and will lick their pits to gain a venomous bite, making them the only venomous primates. Human walking speed is at the upper end of level 3 at about 4.8 kilometers an hour, and many of the other leisurely stroll speeds of the higher level creatures will fall in this range as well. Because as we're about to get into, speeds at level 4 and higher can be a struggle to maintain, even for short periods. Like I said, moving around takes a lot of energy, especially when you need to spend that energy on other things like metabolism, growth, and sickness. Speaking of, it's a new year, and I've made a resolution to myself to take my health more seriously. But I hate the process of waiting for a doctor's office to be open, then being put on hold just to wait weeks for my appointment. Not to mention, it's always a risk that a doctor isn't a good fit or very trustworthy or compassionate at all. That's the beauty of ZocDoc, today's paid partner sponsor. ZocDoc is a free website that helps you easily book high-quality in-network doctors to find someone you love. Whether it's dermatology, dentistry, primary care, or eye care, or one of over 200 more specializations, you can easily search by specialty or or symptom to build the care team that's right for you. My favorite part about ZocDoc is getting to see doctors' real-time availability so that you can book them instantly right from your device, right from your bed. You can choose to meet in person or on video and get access quickly, usually within 24 to 72 hours or sometimes even on the same day. With thousands of verified patient reviews, ZocDoc will help you find the perfect doctor for you so that you can feel confident about who's giving you medical care. You can visit the link ZocDoc.com/daninblue or click the link in the description or scan the QR code on screen to learn more. Thank you to ZocDoc for sponsoring this video. Okay, time to pick up some speed with level 4, runners. Slow and steady wins the race, unless you're not in a proverb, in which case fast wins most races, obviously. At level 4, speed comes about with intention, whether that be to chase prey, run as prey, migrate long distances, or to race home because you have to pee. It evolves from biotic pressures stacked on top of abiotic ones. Chickens can run at an impressive 14 kilometers an hour, and are notorious for being very hard to catch due to their quick and flighty movements. The black mamba can slither up to 19 kilometers an hour in short bursts, hunting with one of the deadliest bites in the animal kingdom, and they don't even need any limbs to do so. Snakes have a lot of different ways that they can move, involving friction and skin muscles dragging themselves forward at multiple points, or slithering pushes that cancel out sideways forces, leaving them to go straight forward. The physics of it is actually really cool. Now, humans on average can build up a sprint to 19 to 24 kilometers an hour. Our ancestral prey was often much faster than us, but we used our endurance to keep up and tail them for long periods of time. Bipedal running is far more calorie efficient than running on 4 legs, and so we could chase them from a distance for a long time before they fell exhausted and we could surround them as a group. We may not be the fastest, but we are the best endurance runners of all animals, maybe besides horses. So despite being level 4, we regularly ran after and hunted level 5s. The basilisk lizard also reaches 24 kilometers an hour, and this speed lets it Jesus walk across the water, using its specialized foot flaps to make air pockets that keep it from sinking. But the fastest reptile is the Parenti, one of Steve Irwin's favorites, an Australian monitor lizard that can burst at up to 40 kilometers an hour, able to outrun and catch rabbits. There are a lot of fish that swim at level 4, like salmon and trout and blue sharks. You also get a lot of big mammals as well. Imagine a hippo chasing you at 30 kilometers an hour, or a grizzly bear at 40. In short bursts, elephants can hit 40 kilometers an hour as well. On the upper end of this tier, you get a lot of things, big and small, that can easily outrun you or easily run you down. But perhaps not every one of us faces this same limitation. In the 2009 World Championship in Athletics, between the 60th and the 80th meter of the 100-meter dash, Usain Bolt was recorded moving at 45 kilometers an hour, the fastest a human has ever moved while being powered by only their own bodies. It was this same race where he achieved the current 100-meter dash world record of 9.58 seconds, dethroning Usain Bolt to become the fastest man alive. Yes, I put the average human in level 4, but not all humans are average. With the right genetics, lifetime of training, and optimized practices, many world-class sprinters can reach over 40 kilometers an hour, which is too fast to be moving in a school zone where I live. But at level 5, many animals are hitting this and more on any regular Tuesday. Roadrunners can get up to 42 kilometers an hour, but unlike the cartoon, coyotes can go up to 69 kilometers an hour and catch roadrunners pretty regularly. So either Wile E is kind of a lousy coyote, or the roadrunner is the Usain Bolt of roadrunners. Probably both. Here we also see the flight speed of most birds. Flying is an absolute cheat code when it comes to moving fast. I mean, soaring through the skies allows birds to avoid nearly every predator if they're careful. Migratory birds like geese fly at 80 kilometers an hour, allowing them to get across the world in a fairly reasonable amount of time for a yearly vacation. In level 5, you are one of the quickest organisms in the world, but there are still tons of them, so I'm gonna give you the rundown or fly down or swim down of some of my favorites. The fastest flying insect is the dragonfly, with speeds of 58 kilometers an hour, allowing them to achieve the highest kill rate of any predator at 97 to 98%. Black rhinos can charge at up to 55 kilometers an hour. White-tailed deer can burst at 60 64 kilometers an hour. The fastest thoroughbred horse has hit 71 kilometers an hour, but a horse's typical gallop can still be 45 kilometers an hour. Like I said, horses are the best endurance runners alongside humans. The ability to go at such speeds for such long times is remarkable, especially for an animal that large. There's a reason they served as our primary vehicles before automotives. The fastest domestic cat is the Egyptian Mau, which can hit 48 kilometers an hour, while the fastest dog is the Greyhound, going up to 72 kilometers an hour. Swimming is also a bit of a cheat code when it comes to speed, since you can keep propelling yourself forward with your flippers and that speed carries forward as you float. Orcas can get up to 56 kilometers an hour, and dolphins can hit 60. Mako sharks are the fastest sharks at 72 kilometers an hour. Flying fish can swim at up to 70 kilometers an hour to fly out of the water, sometimes covering distances up to 400 meters and reaching heights 6 meters above the water surface. It also sucks to get slapped by one flying over your boat. Amazingly though, one of the fastest fish is the tuna, which has been seen going over 80 kilometers an hour. So think about that next time you turn them into a sandwich. But of course, we can go faster still. Level 6, super bursters. This is the highest level of what an animal can achieve with powered movement. Cheetahs are the very image we picture when we think about speed. It's actually unclear what their top speed is. Different sources say different things, but the highest estimate is 130 kilometers an hour, which would be enough to easily pass cars on most highways. Their long legs and sleek bodies are specialized for sprinting in long strides, and their claws work like running spikes to keep them agile on difficult terrain. Now, pronghorns are the second fastest land animal, able to reach 96 kilometers an hour and maintain this for long distances. They have much more endurance than cheetahs, so with the right head start can outrun and outlast them. But cheetahs can accelerate from 0 to 97 kilometers an hour in only 3 seconds, famously faster than a Ferrari. So the culling game between these speed demons is actually determined by stealth rather than speed. It's about how close the cheetah can sneakily close the gap between them before the chase begins. There are other extremely fast animals, notably the billfish superfamily. Swordfish can reach speeds up to 97 kilometers an hour. Incredible for being anywhere between 200 and 1,200 pounds. Sailfish can leap from the water at 109 kilometers an hour, mogging the flying fish in this regard, and in their case are large and sharp-nosed enough to severely injure or kill people and even destroy the hulls of ships. But the fastest swimmer of all animals is the black marlin, recorded stripping off the line of a fishing reel at 129 kilometers an hour. As for runners, ostriches are the fastest animal on 2 legs. Some report them being faster than pronghorns, but the general estimate is about 70 kilometers an hour. A lot of ungulates tend to rely on high speeds to escape bursting predators, like gazelle and blue wildebeest. The quarter horse is a breed named after their ability to beat other horses in races of a quarter mile or less, moving up to 81 kilometers an hour, though their endurance seems to fall off afterwards. The tiger beetle only moves at 9 kilometers an hour, but that's absolutely fucked for a bug. In fact, these things move so quickly while they're chasing prey that their eyes don't capture enough photons, so they have to stop every now and then to register their surroundings before moving again. Tiger beetles move 125 body lengths a second, which often makes it look like they teleport instantly for observers. Adjusting for its size, it would be like a human running 300 kilometers an hour, as fast as a high-speed train. The sesame seed mite moves 322 body lengths a second, and for being so tiny, they're essentially going thousands of kilometers a second, making them the fastest animal relative to their size in the world. Now, amongst flyers at level 6, we start to see velocities over 100 kilometers an hour very consistently. These same derpy pigeons waddling around your city parks can reach up to 149 kilometers an hour. There's a reason we bred them into our main form of long-distance messaging back in the day. The frigate bird has the largest wing-to-body area ratio of any bird, allowing it to hit 153 kilometers an hour. But the fastest bird in terms of pure flapping flight speed is the white-throated needle-tail swift at 169 kilometers an hour. Nice. At a close second is the Eurasian hobby, which has been seen reaching 160 kilometers an hour and frequently seen at times outflying needle-tailed swifts. So a fast hobby will beat a slower swift. But these flights are measured in the air with their free-formed three-dimensional movement. In terms of horizontal speed, the the fastest flyer is actually the Mexican free-tailed bat, which hits 160 kilometers an hour, beating out the cheetah as the fastest mammal in the world. Now, believe it or not, ducks can fly pretty fast too. Watch this one as never mind. That prairie falcon was faster, dive bombing in at 100 kilometers an hour, cracking its bones and concussing it in one fell swoop. But you may have heard of another falcon that does this. Not twice as fast, not 3 times as fast, but 4 times faster. At level 7, we supersede the limits of muscles, wings, and standard biophysics to become Ballistic. The peregrine falcon soars high up into the sky, then stoops, launching into a high-speed dive and tucking in its wings to become an aerodynamic hunting missile that no prey animal can escape. They falcon punch medium-sized birds, which either instantly die or are stunned mid-flight, plummeting to their demise. As the fastest animals on the planet, peregrine falcons have been said to achieve close to 400 kilometers an hour in their stoop dives, though an older study proposed that a hypothetically ideal falcon could potentially hit 625 kilometers an hour. These are insane amounts of speed, bolstered by constant acceleration due to gravity and optimized aerodynamic form, letting them reach speeds impossible to achieve with powered flight alone. They've also been found to use very similar tracking and trajectory feedback systems as actual military missiles. And I can't help but notice that their profile matches up with a B-2 bomber quite nicely. So it's safe to say they're quite optimized for airborne warfare. The golden eagle can also stoop dive, and while being less maneuverable than peregrines due to their large size, they still have been observed reaching 320 kilometers an hour, and may even be equal or superior to peregrine falcons on average. It's both up to debate and to the specific individual. Realistically, most peregrine falcons and golden eagles are going to be maxing out their speeds under 200 kilometers an hour, which is still more than enough to chase down and obliterate prey. But however fast the Usain Bolt of peregrines and golden eagles is, we have no idea. Still, it's a safe bet to say that of all living animals right now, the world speed champion is a bird belonging to one of these 2 species. To even discuss comparable speeds in other organisms, we have to shift to non-locomotive movements. Hummingbird wings can beat 80 times in a single second, in a unique figure-8 pattern, letting them hover in the air precisely and be the only birds that can fly backwards. Trapjaw ants have spring-loaded jaws, held back by latches. When one of their trigger hairs are touched, the latch releases, causing mandibles to mechanically slam in at 250 kilometers an hour and severely injure prey. They can even use the force generated by their jaws to catapult themselves, popping through the air like popcorn in order to escape and frighten predators. Though Dracula ants have even faster mandibles at 320 kilometers an hour. The fastest voluntary movement in humans is the saccade, the tiny movements our eyes make in order to adjust for reading and tracking, which can reach angular speeds of 700 degrees a second. It allows our eyes to shift and focus quickly, which is necessary for reading and visual scanning. Spirostomum is a single-celled ciliate that can shrink itself to a quarter of its size 50 times faster than the blink of an eye, disappearing right in front of predators, and hits an acceleration of 14 g. For reference, race cars accelerate at 4 to 5 g, cheetahs at 4.7 g, and some rockets have reached 10 g. Between 13 and 25 g is the lethal range of g-force. It's a level of speeding up that can actually kill you. And the fastest accelerating organism in the world, which reaches 20,000 g, grows on poop. The most elite organism in the world in terms of acceleration is the dung cannon, also known as the hat thrower fungus. Remember how cheetahs accelerate from 0 to 90 kilometers an hour in 3 seconds? These fungi burst and launch their sporangia from 0 to 90 kilometers an hour in 3 millionths of a second. And because this actually carries fungal spores, that means it's really an entire organism, or at least a reproductive unit, accelerating at this speed far faster than any human vehicle. In terms of all biological movements though, the fastest acceleration in nature is likely from jellyfish stings, which come from cells called nematocysts beasts that fire tiny harpoons reaching 5.4 million G. Nature is seriously impressive and really fast. But as humans, we've built vehicles that are faster, at least in terms of velocity. The land speed record belongs to the Thrust SSC that hit 1,228 kilometers an hour, breaking the sound barrier at Mach 1.06. The fastest manned aircraft is the North American X-15, hitting 7,274 kilometers an hour, or Mach 6.72. And the fastest any organism has ever moved is 39,938 kilometers an hour, when 3 crew members on the Apollo 10 mission were descending back to Earth from lunar orbit. With our ability to create and use science, humans have become the fastest organisms. But considering the speeds that some of the animals in nature are capable of, especially while balancing evolutionary constraints, makes their feats incredible works of science on their own. And who knows, maybe something long extinct has reached even higher speeds. Maybe something in the wild out there today hit a speed record that none of us were there to observe. We'll never know because we're not fast enough to catch everything. Okay, just for fun, let's scale some speedsters. Dash from The Incredibles, 650 kilometers an hour. Speedy Gonzales, 1,440 kilometers an hour. A-Train, 1,609 kilometers an hour. Quicksilver, just faster than the speed of light. The Roadrunner, 3.1 times the speed of light. Sonic the Hedgehog has gone over 9 times the speed of light. The Flash has done 10 trillion times the speed of light. And of course, the cameraman that films all of them, who can get up to infinite light speeds. Okay, fast, hit that subscribe button, and thanks for watching.